Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a massive two-sided financial paradox right at the heart of the generative AI revolution. It's essentially a story of total corporate panic on one side and an absolute gold rush for everyday users on the other. Okay, let's dive right into this. $14 billion. That's OpenAI's projected financial loss by the year 2026. Yeah, billion with a B. The very company leading the AI charge is facing a massive existential crisis, and they definitely aren't the only ones. Pretty much all the major Gen AI platforms are dealing with a totally unsustainable business model right now. Why? Well, it all comes down to sheer operational cost. A single generative AI search can be up to 10 times more expensive than a standard Google search. To put that into perspective, it takes the same amount of electricity as running a light bulb for 20 minutes just to answer one single prompt. Now, contrast that astronomical cost with the reality of their user base. Over 95% of users rely entirely on the free tiers. So these platforms are essentially bleeding cash with every free prompt we type. Section 1. The Gen AI monetization dilemma. To survive, these companies are desperately testing out entirely new pricing structures to solve this profitability crisis. We're seeing 4 specific monetization models being tested out. You have your restricted free tiers at one extreme and your high-cost premium subscriptions at the other. But the industry is making a massive push toward the middle ground, specifically models that introduce advertisements. Platforms like Perplexity and ChatGPT are testing ad-supported models to finally monetize that massive 95% of free users without forcing them into an expensive subscription. Section 2. The compromise effect. So, how do you get users to pay up or accept ads without making them totally abandon your platform? It comes down to psychology. It's called the compromise effect. This is a behavioral economics theory stating that when people are presented with extreme choices, like a terrible free version or a really expensive paid version, they will almost always choose a middle ground option to minimize their risk. They really want the advanced AI tools, but they fear the high costs. When researchers tested this exact scenario on AI users, they found something absolutely wild. If you give users just one ad-supported option, sure, free users upgrade to it, which is great. But your premium paid subscribers, they downgrade to it to save money, which loses the company revenue. However, if you offer 2 compromise options, say a free version with lots of ads and a cheap version with fewer ads, it perfectly fixes the problem. The complexity of the choices keeps the premium subscribers paying for the top tier while still convincing the free users to upgrade. It's psychological pricing at its absolute finest. Section 3. The intrusion factor. Now, pivoting to ads is super risky. If you interrupt a user's workflow while they are just trying to generate a quick response, you might lose them forever. This relies on something called affective primacy theory. When an ad interrupts an AI search, the user has an immediate, knee-jerk emotional reaction, usually irritation or frustration. That immediate negative emotion completely biases their cognitive evaluation of the entire AI platform. If the ad feels intrusive, the user doesn't just hate the ad, they start to subconsciously hate the AI tool itself. But here's a twist for you. I want you to think about this for a second. Why do you think shorter ads actually feel more annoying to users than longer ones? It sounds totally counterintuitive, right? But studies on temporal intrusion reveal that brief ads just feel abrupt. Because they're so short, users perceive them as lacking any real value or substance. It just feels like a jarring speed bump. Longer ads, surprisingly, give the brain time to process the information, making the interruption feel slightly more substantive. So, a quick 5-second unskippable ad actually causes a more intense negative emotional reaction than a 15-second one. Crazy, right? Okay, so we've looked at the macro level. The billion-dollar tech giants are bleeding cash and desperately trying to carefully insert ads just to survive. But let's flip the script entirely, because while the platforms are panicking, everyday creators are quietly cashing in. Section 4. Cashing in. Visuals. Everyday people are generating lucrative income streams with these exact same tools. Let's look at the visual side of this gold rush. Using incredibly powerful AI image generation tools like Imagine Art, users with literally zero design background are building businesses overnight. They're generating high-quality stock photos and selling them on Shutterstock. They're typing a few prompts to create intricate mandala coloring pages and selling them as digital printables on Etsy. They're generating custom minimalist logos for startups on Fiverr, or even conceptualizing detailed tattoo designs for artists. They are literally spinning pure text into digital assets with massive profit margins. Section 5. Cashing in, video and audio. The real heavy hitters are transitioning to the highly profitable world of motion and sound. The monetization avenues here are expanding so rapidly, creators are building entire automated content empires without ever stepping foot in front of a camera. They're launching faceless YouTube shorts using AI B-roll and scripts. They're generating photorealistic AI avatars to do product reviews for Amazon affiliate marketing. They're cloning voices or using text-to-speech tools to sell professional voiceover services for corporate training videos. Historically, 2D animation was incredibly time-consuming. You needed serious technical skill. But right now, there's a projected 35% increase in demand for 2D animation in the corporate and marketing space for 2026. Meanwhile, modern AI software like Animaker and Vyond are reducing setup time by up to 40% with drag-and-drop templates and AI lip syncing. Beginners are jumping right into this gap, using AI to instantly create high-end explainer videos and selling them directly to businesses. Want to know what the absolute ceiling of this looks like? $5,000 to $10,000. That is the earning potential per post for fully AI-generated digital influencers. Creators are out there designing synthetic brand ambassadors in the lifestyle and fashion space, building an Instagram following for a person who doesn't even exist, and charging real-world brands thousands of dollars for a single sponsored post. No way, right? But it's happening. Section 6. The future of AI work. As we bring both sides of this narrative together, we have to look at the broader economic reality of the AI industry today. This is the grand irony of this explainer. The massive AI corporations are funding the servers, paying the massive electricity bills, and building the infrastructure at a staggering multi-billion-dollar loss. They're struggling to figure out how to squeeze a few pennies out of us through ads. Meanwhile, agile, everyday users are taking those incredibly expensive, mostly free tools and turning them into immediate, high-margin profit. Which leaves us with this pretty powerful thought. The real winners of the AI gold rush might not be the companies building the models, but the people leveraging them. History shows us that those who sell the shovels usually win the gold rush, but right now, the people using the shovels are striking it rich while the shovel makers are going into debt. So, I'll leave you with this question to chew on as you go about your day. When you open up an AI platform tomorrow, ask yourself, are you just consuming AI or are you capitalizing on it? The tools are right there. The opportunity is massive. And right now, the choice is entirely yours. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. We'll see you next time.